Welcome to Gaslit Nation's New York City Vote Super Special. We've had a lot of drama in New York City, more than usual. So I've asked the superstars at the New York Working Families Party to walk us through our ballot, especially since it includes some gaslighting by our indicted mayor, Eric Adams, who's mobbed up on illegal foreign bribes. So for that, welcome to the show, Jasmine Gripper, the state co-director of Working Families Party. For those who are just meeting this real life Wonder Woman, Jasmine was named one of City and State's 40 under 40 rising stars and regularly features on the Education Power 100 list. She directed campaigns that delivered record funding for New York's public education system and historic childcare funding. Born and bred in Queens, where my dad grew up, she is a proud graduate of New York City's public school system and CUNY's Hunter College. All right, welcome, Jasmine.
Thanks for having me.
What is the Working Families Party and how can people get involved?
The Working Families Party was created about 26 years ago in order to build power for working people across New York State. And we knew we needed to have a political apparatus in order to do that. And the Working Families Party has been building power by winning big wins to improve people's lives. So we fought and raised the minimum wage here in New York. We fought for paid family days and won, paid sick days and we won. And so New York Working Families Party has been here fighting for workers and building power for everyday New Yorkers and not the ultra rich. People have a chance to vote on the Working Families ballot line this November. One of the great things about New York is that we have fusion voting, so candidates can appear on more than one line. And so when you go to vote and cast your ballot, you can vote for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz on the Democratic line, but you can also vote for them on the Working Families ballot line. And the reason why we encourage people to vote on the Working Families line is that it helps us build our power. It shows elected officials that you stand with the values of the party, which is fighting for everyday New Yorkers, that we are committed to changing our state and our cities in order to really reflect what families need. And family needs childcare. We need affordable housing. We need the things that working families are constantly having to fight for. But too often our politicians are, controlled by the whims of the ultra rich in our society. And so the Working Families Party is here fighting for you, everyday New Yorkers, and we actually join us by helping us to build power by voting on the Working Families Party line this cycle for Kamala Harris and go all the way down the line to all the candidates who are listed there.
What about the 6 ballot measures on the ballot this year? And is that just for New York City or is it for New York State?
So New Yorkers need to remember to flip over your ballot this year. Prop 1 is statewide, and we're encouraging everyone to vote yes for Prop 1. Prop 1 will change or update our New York State Constitution to enshrine the rights we have for women in our reproductive health. It enshrines those protections for LGBTQ New Yorkers. There's a lot of misinformation about Prop 1 happening now. To be clear, Prop 1 takes our existing rights that we all already have, and it puts it in our state constitution. This way, it can't be changed by who's in office. So we're asking everyone to vote yes on Prop 1. Now, Props 2 to 6 are unique to New York City. This was an effort by New York City's Mayor Adams, who really rushed through the process of putting props on the ballot. And he's been in a power struggle or a power war with the New York City Council. The City Council has been standing up to this mayor in as big of a way as possible and challenging his power. So they pass a bill, he's vetoed the bill, and the City Council overrid his veto. And the mayor does not like this balance and that he has to contend with the City Council. The additional props 2 to 6 on the ballot were created by the mayor to expand the power of the executive office. What we are saying is that the New York City Charter already gives outsized power to the executive branch. The mayor already has a good sized amount of power in our city budget process and in our city planning process. We do not want this mayor or any other mayor to have more power. We believe in checks and balances. It's what makes our democracy healthy. And so we're asking everyone to reject Mayor Adams' power grab and vote no on Props 2 to 6. I'll be honest, if you read some of them, you're like, oh, this doesn't sound so bad. The reality is the ones that don't sound bad, like we should do something about the garbage, are the weakest ones that hold no teeth and there will be no enforcement behind. And the ones that are dangerous are really dangerous and really expand the power of the mayor and will limit the council's ability, even to like when they override the mayor's veto, to implement the city law. And so we're saying just reject the mayor's power grab altogether. Just say no to 2 to 6. So yes for Prop 1 and vote no on Props 2 to 6 in New York City.
Eric Adams is shameless. Not only does he talk in the third person, but he shoves these ballot measures on there in a massive Trumpian power grab, proving again, not just with that foreign money in his pocket, that he is the Black Trump and he needs to go. All right, so final question. We have listeners all across America, including fighting for their lives in Republican hostage states like Indiana, Missouri, and so on. What advice do you have for folks there who want to build their own, to join your movement, to start a working families party where they live? Or how can they sign up to your larger national effort?
The Working Families Party was started in New York. We are the longest part of the party. We actually have a ballot line in New York that makes us strong. But fusion voting does not exist. As third parties became more and more powerful, we saw states really limit the ability for third parties to grow their power using fusion voting. We have it in about 3 states, but the Working Families Party is growing nationally. We are trying to be a national party and we are working through the growing pains of that effort. And so look up to see if there's a Working Families Party in your state. We're in over a dozen states already. We've been building power. One of the cool things the party recently did was in the Philadelphia City Council. They hold 2 seats for the minority party. And those 2 seats always went to Republicans. The Working Families ran 2 WFP candidates for those seats, kicked the Republicans off the city council, and now the WFP is the minority party in the Philadelphia City Council. So the way the party looks in different states varies. Sometimes we're just running electoral efforts, we're endorsing candidates, we're growing our base and we're growing our power. So check out the Working Families Party across the nation. Look us up online, follow us on social media. We are building big power. We're trying to move the center of gravity and win power for working class New Yorkers. And when we say we're trying to win power and build our power, we don't just want a seat at the table. We want our people, our memberships, our affiliates to be the decision makers at the helm of the table. We want our folks running government, and we want to build governing power for and by working class, multiracial people. And we can do that by working together. So look up the Working Families Party wherever you are, plug in and get involved. And the least you can do is just follow us on social media, Working Families on all of the platforms from TikTok to Twitter.
I want my listeners in New York State to join me in voting down the Working Families Party line. You can still vote for Kamala, but just give that vote to Working Families Party to amplify their important voice. We are living in a time of historic income inequality that has surpassed the Gilded Age. And when you have economic instability of this level, that is how fascism flourishes. That is where we are. So if you want to push back against the oligarchy, if you want to protect and fight for what's left of our democracy and strengthen it, we need to fight for greater social progress, and we're going to do it through grassroots engines like Working Families Party. And I'm so grateful to you all. I'm sending you the best energy in the world. We are the wind in your sails, and we hope you have a hugely successful election. And you're always welcome back here at Gaslight Nation because we need you. And I hope that my listeners, wherever you live, look them up and see how you can get in.
We're at a pivotal moment for the party. Part of maintaining our ballot status is our ability to secure votes this year. So the Working Families Party has to secure, we're aiming to get 250,000 votes for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz on the Working Families ballot line. The previous governor of New York State changed the threshold for third parties, and he raised it. So instead of requalifying every 4 years, we now have to requalify every 2 years. It's 130,000 votes or 2%. Whichever is higher. So we're aiming to get 250,000 votes for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz on the Working Families Party line to maintain our status as a political party in New York State and continue to grow our power. And we hope you'll join us.